Night of the Living podcast is always ad-free for patrons at patreon.com/NOTLP.
Welcome to Night of the Living podcast, AbraCadaver.
Oh.
See, that's what you,
you didn't see it, but Freddy did magician movements with his hands.
yeah, so I do.
I like his showmanship. Even though you can't see it, he actually did it.
I imagine the hat with a rabbit and everything.
Thrilling. Dazzling.
Yep, that's Amy.
Hey there.
This is Andy right here.
I'm Andy.
I'm Freddy. And this theme is AbraCadaver. And we're going to be discussing a double feature today, 2 movies in this category. First up, The Wizard of Gore, which if you're not familiar, it's Herschel Gordon Lewis, the godfather of gore, really pushing things.
Your limits.
Pushing the limits. And then we'll be watching, or discussing, I shouldn't say watching, because our eyes have already beheld it. Nick's pick. It's a Chi Hung Kwai film, The Boxer's Omen. Which is part of the Shaw Brothers, and if you like that 70s and 80s kung fu stuff,
it's a very gross double feature today.
This is a couple of real disgusting movies.
It's real gross.
Although I would say one is a little bit more disgusting than the other.
Yes.
Looking at you, The Boxer's Omen.
yeah, surprisingly,
It's a very slimy double feature.
Yes, indeed.
And then if you stick around after that discussion, maybe we'll talk about personal stuff too. Who knows? We like to open up. We used to do this at the beginning, but we realized
I watched a newer movie.
Yeah, we watched
In a Violent Nature. We can talk about that.
Yeah. So real quick, well, do you want to talk about that at the end?
Yeah.
All right, good. Is there any new business?
Only old business. Sorry we missed a week. If you're a listener and you're like, I expect you every week, gosh darn it. Well, sorry, I'd been on vacation and it was kind of difficult, but we're back in the saddle.
Yeah, that's why we're squishing 2 movies into one show.
Yeah.
Squash.
So, and then at the end, we'll also pick our next theme.
We're squishing another movie in. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, we get to pick our other theme. Oh, that's exciting. Oh, I love when we get to do that.
Let's just do that more often. Let's just pick new themes every week.
Every week. New theme. Oh, but God, every week we have to do the pun title because you gotta.
Sure.
Hurts my brain. Okay, we'll just keep
Arm spiraling.
Yep, pretty much. All right, you guys ready to kick off this motherfucking doubleheader?
Turn out lights, it's the main attraction.
Our first main attraction of the double feature is The Wizard of Gore from 1970. It was not rated because back then, this is actually, I think, before the era of the MPAA, really.
What year did this come out?
1970.
Wow.
And Herschel Gordon Lewis, who came up in advertising and did a lot of other stuff, decided he's written all kinds of books too. I decided I'm going to be the first to make a really, really, really gory movie.
Boy, did he do it.
This wasn't the first of those. What was the first? Might have been
I remember seeing it.
Blood Feast, maybe.
But I don't remember it.
Yeah,
I know I've seen Blood Feast, but I don't remember
it's a very memorable. I just remember the poster more than anything.
Yeah. Blood Feast had like the ancient god that they were sacrificing people to. But the cops in both movies, the cops in this movie, there's a Herschel Gordon Lewis cop kind of character that he plugs in at weird moments in the timeline.
Well, have you seen a lot of his movies?
I've seen.
Or have you seen enough to know that he has like tropes to his films?
Yeah, I know the tropes of these, like the real gory ones with the playing in the guts and the spending a lot of time in that. It's just the framing is what separates them. Like in Blood Feast, if I remember right, they were like sacrificing to some god, and in this you have the mesmerist named Montag. Yeah.
Well,
magnificent.
That's not a great name.
No.
Sorry for a magician.
It wasn't that mesmerizing.
Talented corporate.
And it also didn't help that
Montag.
every time he said his name, I thought of Heidi Montag.
Oh, that's gross.
So that's Ray Sager. And this guy's usually like a behind-the-scenes guy.
It sort of showed.
Yeah.
But it worked for this particular
know
character
what?
and how smug he was supposed to be.
It wasn't a great performance,
No.
but I did like his reckless confidence.
Yeah.
There you go.
He reminded me of when...
That's one of my new favorite phrases of reckless confidence.
Yes.
And this is how he projected his speeches with
So many speeches.
all of the theater kid energy you could muster.
He gave me when Dwight Schrute on The Office was on a tear. And a lot of this movie sounds like Dwight and Jim together, like doing a bit, but then a lot of guts and gore.
Then there's Meredith.
And then came Meredith.
What a weird...
Just slogging through the movie.
This movie is just him performing, maybe killing somebody, then they're not dead, then they show up dead later. Him performing, him maybe killing somebody, maybe not, then they show up dead later.
You have to watch the
Him
whole act
performing.
every time.
There's
too.
a lot of scenes of the reporter
Yes,
and
you're right.
the detective eating a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, you have to have that.
And making whoopee.
They always have like teacups or coffee mugs, and they're always eating like very elaborately.
They're like, don't get me wrong, parts of this movie were fucking fantastic because of just the like gory, like the silly gory, because it's very like bright red stuff.
I like the era too. I like the little,
And I like the era
diner.
too. But the movie, let's be real, it can do incredible things for the genre and push things forward and also be very boring.
Well, every scene after a woman gets hypnotized and killed on stage, and she goes back to a trance, and it's literally 5 minutes of her walking into her house, walking to her car,
Does it
Speaking of in a
remind you-
violent nature.
going to bed. It's just a lot of really, really long scenes of build up to the reveal of the body.
Didn't it remind you of like Plan 9 a little bit in those moments? Like when they would have Bela Lugosi or the dentist or whoever it was would just kind of wander to leave his house. The old man's day. It's like you just watching that, the old man's day over and over again, interspersed with just blah, blah, blah,
It's just a
gore and
lot of
guts.
filler. It seems like it's a pretty thin plot in the first place.
Yeah.
So they needed some padding, but the padding was people walking.
She's like, the plot is this reporter really wants to get this dude on her show because he's this crazy mesmerist, but then people start turning up dead. And then in the end, was it all a dream?
Well, the wonderful thing
I
about
don't
this
know.
is there is a lot of I'm rubber and you're glue near the end of this movie.
Yes. What is that?
What's that show where they woke up and it was all a dream?
St. Elsewhere.
Well, it was
Yeah,
they were in a no, you're
snow
talking about
globe.
Newhart.
That was the snow
New,
globe.
Newhart, not Newhart.
and the Newhart and the snow globe.
Yeah. That's that.
That's very reminding me of. It's like what?
Well, yeah, it's a cop out usually, and in this, it's even worse because, like, you get like some of the worst like community theater type of acting in this climactic moment when the boyfriend reveals that under his mask he is Montag the Magnificent, but also that everything has been a dream so far.
Yep, I guess.
And he's in control of it.
And it's a dream in his mind, right?
In her mind and his, I think. But then
They are mind to her mind, your mind to my mind.
She
They're fucking
LARPs that
mind-melded.
shit back on
My
him.
mind to your mind.
So she was the one projecting the image, the mesmerizing on him, right?
She
And
thought
in the end, she LARPed it back at
But
him.
at the end, but like at the review at the end where everybody's watching him on stage, and she's like, "I think he's a fraud or something,"
Yeah.
and that was her projecting the images in his mind.
Yeah, that's according to her at the end.
I don't know, Andy. Oh my
But then remember, it says the end, and then
Yeah.
it gave you that little, or is it?
Nope. See, listen, some people are out there like sometimes that's just going to happen. It's up to you to decide. But like, you can't even give me reality movie. You got to give me something.
I did kind of appreciate how like WTF it was.
Yeah.
It is
What?
very.
Well, you know, he even said he was very open about the quality
being
of
messy.
the movies.
Yeah.
He was like, he would say like cute shit about his material, like it was first, so it doesn't have to be good.
Well, there
it
is
was
that
the
old
first.
adage: you can get it fast and you can get it cheap.
Yeah.
You can't. It won't be good, and you can get it good. You can get it fast, but it won't be cheap. You got to pick two.
It was all a dream, though.
And he went with Fast and Cheap.
You can pick any you want in your dreams.
I don't know.
You want to play with these guts?
I understand that, he is first. And you have to respect the coming up with it.
So
I do.
did he
Being so depraved on camera.
So did he just churn out movies constantly, kind of like a Corman or something?
Yeah, he was more of a businessman, and but he wrote books too. He was just a guy who had his thumbs in a lot of different pies. He was working all the angles to survive. He's kind of an interesting character. There's a documentary about him called The Godfather of Gore. I saw it years ago, but I can't find it anymore.
What kind of pie?
Streaming, at least.
Bloody pie.
I want to say something
so you
weird.
stick your fingers in and just play around.
Yeah. And you just glop, glop, glop.
Yeah, something weird
Some of
video. I think, does that sound right to you, anybody out there? I think they have the rights.
So you hear anybody answer you, you'd let me know, right?
Yeah, this is our first Hordengerscher Lewis.
What did you just do?
Jacket Joyner Kersey?
What's his name again?
Adele Dazeem.
Did you say Jacket Joyner Kersey?
What's this guy's name again? Gordon Jordan.
Herschel Gordon Lewis.
Herschel Gordon.
Herschel Gordon Lewis.
Well, you're asking
Gordon Lewis.
You're asking these questions to us, and this is my first time. Well, first time knowingly seeing his movie.
Yeah, you saw probably if you've seen Juno, you've seen a little bit of a Herschel Gordon Lewis movie. This movie, I think, if I remember right.
HGL. Let's just do that.
He showed Jason Bateman shows it to Juno.
Oh, that's inappropriate.
Well,
but he was being inappropriate.
That was an inappropriate relationship. And
It wasn't inappropriate all around.
He was creeping.
And every time you say his name, I get him mixed up with David Gordon Green.
Oh, Mr. Halloween, New Halloween.
Yeah.
Another three named Gordon
Yeah.
director.
I get him confused with Gordon Jump.
What are the odds, huh? What other famous Gordons are there?
I get him confused with Nick Beef.
Who's Nick Beef?
I just learned about Nick Beef. That's the name. You can't go see Lee Harvey Oswald's grave because they didn't want people to, go to it as a tourist destination. So this guy who was there as a child bought a gravesite and put the name Nick Beef on it, on the marker, so you can go to the cemetery.
It's the gravesite next to...
And you'll see
Harvey
Oswald's grave
Yeah.
to the left.
So
Nick Beef.
Nick Beef.
Which sounds like a pornography star,
It does.
right?
Yeah.
So when you're looking for his gravestone, you're asking, "Where's the beef?"
Where's the beef?
And right next to it is Lee Harvey Oswald.
So I wonder how long it'll be before they'll be like, don't tell people where Nick Beef is buried. And then Nick Beef's not even a real dude.
Sounds like something from The Bear or something.
I mean, you cannot...
Yeah.
If I
Hey,
Google Nick Beef adult films right now, I feel like...
He makes a great Italian sandwich, though.
You like
I've
it
heard
hot and sweet, wet. You want it sloppy?
I always get it wet because I made the unfortunate.
Me too.
Thank you, Andy. I agree.
No, this is a sincere
Okay, sorry.
statement because I made a mistake of getting it dry at the Taste of Cincinnati because I didn't
Italian
want to
beef?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because I didn't want to get my hands all wet because it's like a food fair and
And
it's
then
hard to
you
eat.
turned to dust.
Yeah. I'm still chewing it.
It was so dry. And
So
one bite in
all-
it, she was like,
This is a sincere note. Get it wet.
you got Thanos
Yeah.
right out of there.
Get it wet and then high five somebody.
Yes. That's how you do it.
Okay, so the gore
Yes.
from the title of the movie.
True.
I liked the gore. It
Yeah,
was
he
real fun.
likes the
It was
gore.
real fun.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that
it-
was the reason for the season.
Yeah.
That's why this movie matters.
I mean, it wasn't necessarily done well, but it was done. It was done.
Girl, it was dead. Do you think?
Certainly was.
What do you think it was? What did they use?
It's
What
very.
were the guts made out of?
that's
I
Real
don't know,
meat.
the blood is. I love the bright red Italian. Paint,
Theatrical.
Yeah.
Practically French dressing. Oh
You
my
know-
goodness.
I can't remember. You know, it's funny. I watched that damn documentary, and I feel like,
You have a phone in front of you. You can.
Well, but then
Google
he'll get all caught up.
yeah, I
in
don't
it,
want to
and then
get,
we'll
you
lose
know.
him.
So what was the first death? It was the girl being
Sawed in half.
chainsawed in half.
Yeah. Then she shows up later, cut in half.
Yeah.
So all this time, that keeps happening. He kills somebody in a fantastical way on stage, but did he? Because it looks like they get up and they're in their little trance and they walk away and they're perfectly unharmed.
Yeah.
But they are found later
Yeah.
dead in the same manner as which his trick went down. So the whole time I'm like, okay, I'm going to figure out what's real here.
When you said trick went
Well, it's
down,
like-
I just thought of Hustle and Flow.
I guess that's part of his illusion that even though they're dead, he can still entrance them to go home.
Are they dead though? Is that what he's doing? Is he sending their ghosts home? Andy, what is
Not that
happening?
he's sending their dead bodies home. They're like animated. Or
Do you
something,
think that
right?
what they see in their mind's eye when he does that after he's cut them in half and played in their guts and then puts them back together?
Yeah.
And then he's like Ferris Bueller in the shower and he's like, "Oh, you're still here?" Except it's MODOK. What is the name again? Montag.
Montag.
MODOK. Montag. The Magnificent. And he's doing the Ferris Bueller bit from the end of Ferris Bueller.
Oh, yeah.
After the credits, he's like, "Oh, you're still here? Go home." Oh, it'd be adorable.
It would be.
Montag, you let us down, even though you couldn't have possibly known about that. It was like 20 years in the future.
But instead, the end gives you nothing. It gives you a maybe and a could be.
I mean, we have to suspend our disbelief a lot
Oh my
anyway.
gosh,
So
yeah.
the end, even though it did come out of nowhere, I didn't try to figure it out too hard because everything else before it was so kind of
So you're
nonsensical and dumb too.
He was
What?
mesmerizing people through the television.
It fit the tone and the feel
You're
of the
saying
previous stuff
suspend
we saw.
your Disney beef. And you'll be fine. You'll enjoy it.
Man, I'm getting hungry. But don't watch this movie while you're eating because it's
No.
really gross.
And then
Don't watch
especially-
either of the movies we're going to
Yeah.
talk about.
Imagine watching The Wizard of Gore and you're like, you didn't realize how gross it was. Oh, God, this is horrible. I can't wait. At least we're watching another movie after this and we can finally enjoy dinner
And it's a
during that.
boxing movie. That should be okay.
Boxer's Omen. It can't be that
Anyway,
gross.
we'll get there. Anything else about
Yeah, I have to
Wizard of
applaud
Gore.
the how much effort all the victims put in, and how
Screaming.
willing they were to put up with a lot.
And how some of them registered having like a railroad spike jammed in their ear as
Yeah.
mild discomfort. That was fun too.
Like the first girl that got sawed in half, you just see her face while she's being sawed, and you see blood splatter and like chunks flying.
And she barely blinked.
Yeah, and then like something flew in her mouth, and she was like, "Oh!" And then she had to, like spit it out while still acting like she was being sawn in half.
So whatever it is, you don't want it in your mouth.
Yeah.
I like those little bits of Gonzo filmmaking.
You know they were just tossing bits
like-
of whatever it was
yeah,
in
it
her
was like-
face.
It's like one take.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We can only kill this actor
Yeah.
one time, folks.
And the part where he's putting the spike through her head, and he's like pulling the brains out too, but the brains get caught in her hair.
Yeah.
And then you see him pulling the wig, and it's
Yeah.
coming off a little bit.
Oh my god.
It's just goopy and gross, man. But still, it is not nearly as disgusting as the next movie.
No, that's for sure. We've certainly been teasing it. So let's move on to the Boxer's Omen.
Yeah, this was I had never seen this one at all ever.
Yeah, pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
This
Was it new to
movie-
you too, Andy?
Yeah.
It was fucking bananas.
Yeah.
I was like, what? A lot. I felt like I did that a lot.
I thought it was just cool.
It was
Yeah.
cool. It was so like
It was
just
cool and gnarly.
has a reckless confidence, Andy.
1983, right? Yep.
Disgusting too. People put things in their mouths
Again, like the
and
people
spit them out and then put them in another person's mouth.
These,
Go on.
the people like in the Boxer's Omen and the Wizard of Gore, they are very dedicated to their craft.
Oh my god.
I'd say so, man.
The special effects on this were Cronenberg level, nastier,
Yeah.
sleazier.
But there was also moments that I think that this movie might have inspired a little bit of moments in The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy.
And
Remember that?
I thought I also got a lot of Big Trouble in Little
Yeah.
China vibes too.
I love the puppetry that, like you're saying, you have these real disgusting moments like you're describing, Amy, where those, I don't even know what the fuck.
Right.
But then puppets come out too.
But then
So I'm
puppets.
like, oh, thank God. So at least there's cute puppets. So it's not just gross.
So the basic premise is this dude's brother gets fucked up by Bubo,
Yeah.
who is they're doing is that what kind of boxing are they
think
doing?
it's
Thai
boxing.
kickboxing.
Thai kickboxing.
So Bubo,
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering this because when this movie came out, right?
He's got a
we
villain
said
face.
It's 83.
Is Bolo Young? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, is he a villain a lot? He's got
Yeah,
a villain
he's
face.
he's a legend in the
Yeah.
kung fu world.
Did they base DeBobo or whatever his name is from Double Dragon off of this guy? I feel like they might have. I meant to
because of
look
the
it up,
name
but I didn't.
similarities.
But I feel like the revenge plot on the boxer was kind of just tossed aside.
That went so fast.
I thought it was like a big setup for something.
Yeah,
but
his brother gets fucked up. His brother's like, revenge me.
Yeah, but the only reason for that was to get him to Thailand.
Yeah, so he goes to Thailand because he's going to find this dude and fight him and, basically get his revenge for his brother.
Oh, that's
But
right.
instead,
Yeah.
side quest, and it just goes Skyrim side quest from there, where it branches off into 78 different side quests.
Yeah, we just
Bolo
forgot
Young, the one
Yeah.
who we were just talking about, who puts our hero character's brother in a body cast.
He punched him so hard he got paralyzed.
He broke his
paralyzed
back.
him, yeah. And he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
He was also, that actor was also in Enter the Dragon
Yeah.
and Bloodsport.
He's got a very memorable face.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you've seen him before.
He's frequently oiled.
yeah.
That's what I was going to say. That was my first note for this movie, and then I realized I could not take notes and read subtitles.
Right.
Was what an oily start. They oiled
was
him
oily.
up.
But he's very typecast. He's always villains because with that face, he can only be a villain.
Yeah, I bet he's the sweetest man on this planet, but he's got villain face.
He's a great villain.
I mean, his name is awesome, Bolo Young. Come on.
They never really give him dialogue, hardly ever, and he still just fucking brings
he
it.
basically plays the heavy all the time.
Yeah.
He's got some riz, y'all. Pointing at me.
Yeah, because the fight happens. His brother's paralyzed.
But
where does the connection happen?
He's trying to find him, and he's in Thailand because that's where he's
Yeah.
from. So, Revenge Brother is in. They were in China or Hong Kong at the time. So then he has to go from Hong Kong to Thailand.
He gets a vision too
Yeah.
from the
that's right.
spiritually connected
His mummy twin,
his monk.
His monk twin.
monk mummy twin.
He calls him to Thailand.
Yeah.
So it was just a coincidence that
Basically.
the guy that paralyzed his brother also lives in Thailand.
He has a
Because
brother in a jar. He has,
There's a prophecy because of his brother in a jar.
yeah, brother in a jar. His brother. He's a twin.
No, I understand.
yeah.
I was okay.
He had,
We were trying to figure out your brother in a Jarro joke.
Yeah.
There's two. Oh, that's whiskey in a jar.
Oh,
Brother in a jar.
I didn't.
That's all.
Know.
But
I don't know, Andy.
his brother he has two brothers. He has his real life brother who's paralyzed.
He's revenging
Who he's trying to revenge, but then he finds he has his monk brother from another mother.
from another
Era.
time
Life.
in life. It was prophesied that our dude, I forget his name. He was
The hero. He
Chan
was
Hung.
Chan Hung.
They also called him Hong Kong guy. Remember?
Yeah.
That's
they
right.
also called him the other guy, Thai guy.
Thai guy,
and Hong Kong guy.
and Hong Kong guy.
Basically, wherever you're from, you're whatever country, your country guy.
It's
We're
like
a
when
bunch of
people-
Cincinnati guys.
Yeah, you call a guy Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But it turns out he was prophesied to go to Thailand, to go to this temple, to be called there because his twin from a past life is a monk that was trying to achieve immortality. It was almost there. He was almost there, and then these black magicians, black magic prevented him, and he's like he died. Right? I can't remember exactly what happened.
They
He's a mummy of some sort right
the
now.
magic monk. Yeah. He killed one purveyor of black magic, and then to get revenge on him for killing the black magic guy, the Afro man.
Yeah.
He killed the magic monk in revenge.
That's another really
a lot of
awesome
revenge in this movie.
performance. The head bad guy monk character who was the frizzy hair and the
Give me
so good.
If Jimi Hendrix and Tiger King had a baby.
Yeah, that's about
And
right.
Cheech was
And a little bit of
also
Cheech.
mixed in there.
Plus the guy who will eat anything.
He's like the devil, basically. He's a demon.
I think his name was Montauk or something. It was
Montag.
it was. We've got a lot of Mon villains.
Whoa!
Or Monkey Strap or something. It was began with the M. I know that.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly, but he was the demon. See, these particular monks they existed to defeat demons. That was their whole thing. So he has to turn into a monk in order to help this dead monk
achieve his final form.
Form.
And so he can also avenge his brother, right?
But also, it's because
well,
he couldn't say no because if the magic monk died, then
he was
Chan
gonna
would die too.
Yeah, because they're linked
Right.
cosmically.
Which is kind of a bad deal too.
It's a shitty fucking deal.
What if you just gone about your life and said, "Hey, you know what you got to do?
Now you got to eschew everything in your life. Shave your head. Now you're a fucking monk.
Can't have sex.
Cannot have sex.
Can't drink."
And he bucks
Even
back
if she puts him on the glass.
in a kind of realistic way. He bucks against that a little bit. And so the character isn't completely like, okay, I'm going to do everything.
No, he's not like a full like, all right, guys, here we go. But he does end up becoming a monk, and he does fantastic.
He does put him on the glass, as Amy said.
Well, no,
he assists in putting on the glass.
he achieves what he meant to achieve, and now he's a monk, so he's gonna go take a break and go visit his old girlfriend. But you're not supposed to have sex.
And she's just like, welcome home. And then she's like, here's some
She squishes
for
him.
ya.
Well, his first quest was he had to kill the guy that killed the magic monk.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
And
he had to kill him.
He said, "Okay, I'm gonna go home now and have sex again."
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ruin everything.
But then the black magic guy, the evil one, his minions try to get revenge on Chan Hung for killing their master.
Yeah.
And
So it's just a cycle.
It's a cycle of revenge.
violence.
When you
the
go,
minions, the demons' minions are the ones that they eat. These actors chew things,
oh yeah,
spit them out. I'm so sorry if you're eating right now.
and they pass it down,
And then they take one down, pass it around.
like a progressive dinner, except in reverse.
They take a penny, leave a penny with their food.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
the worst part was they were soft foods
Yeah.
that you could really grind up in your mouth.
And if they weren't soft at first, by the end they were.
And I had to keep covering my eyes and saying, Freddy, let me know, let me know, let me know.
Well, you thought it was going to end at first. Like, they're not going to go all the way down the line,
They
are
Just
they?
kept
And they're not going to
going.
keep putting new foods in their mouth, are they?
Yeah.
And they did. And the part was he took a banana, peeled the banana,
that was funny as shit.
doesn't eat the banana,
Yeah.
eats the
Dude,
really brown
That was
skin.
such an opposite day thing to do. Like he was just like, and he made a big show of throwing the good part of the banana away and eating the peel.
Oh my God.
Because he's
It was
evil.
So
Yeah.
He's like,
nasty.
I'm evil. Have an awful day. Like what he means, have a good day.
If it was opposite day
Yeah,
in
'cause
hell.
That's how baddies are.
I mean, they were evil, but they were kind of fun. They gave me like Three Stooges energy.
They were
Yeah.
very cartoony.
Reminded me a lot of Clash of the Titans moments. The colors and like, especially the Oracle reminded me of those guys.
So their plan to get revenge is they dig up a body that they had on hand.
Yeah. This was gross. First they get the crocodile, right?
They get the body and then they get the crocodile.
First you get the body,
Yeah,
then
first
you get the
the body.
crocodile, and then you get the khakis.
They did. They took this nasty ass covered in goo body.
And
They
they
shoved it into the dead crocodile.
It looked like the world's most sunscreen on that guy.
so they sliced a crocodile from tail to toe
Yeah,
and then spill out all his
Tip
guts.
to
So
tail.
they playing him.
it was very like Double Dare to me. Like find the flag.
Yes, they were looking for the flag in there.
It kind of felt like that Wizard of Gore all over again too.
Just glopping out the guts.
Yeah. It's like, no, we gotta look on the floor. The flag dropped already. That was so frustrating. When you can see the flag, but they can't.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the worst.
I always like the shaving cream part.
Yeah.
It just looked like the least harmful of everything they did.
Well, true.
I was like, that looks soft and pleasant.
Double dare, y'all.
Pick anybody's
Google it,
nose.
youngins. There isn't anybody young listening to this. please.
So they sew up this body in this crocodile carcass, or crocodile, right? Alligators
Yeah.
live in the United States.
Yeah,
Correct.
Crocodiles live in Asia.
Pretty much
and
everywhere
Africa.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell by their narrow ass little snoots.
Yeah. And they do some black magic, and
What the fuck pops out of there?
no, they don't like they have to let it fester a little bit.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then they cut
Fester
the carcass open again, and the sorceress comes out
That's
covered in maggots.
yeah.
Yeah. But they spare her off, and she's like,
But don't worry, you get to see her titty.
I'm
Not just her titties.
The whole shebang.
the whole shebang. Plus, she has these. They give her these really long fingernails.
This movie gives you a lot of full frontal female nudity. The one opportunity they have for male nudity,
He's wearing a Speedo.
he's wearing a fucking Speedo.
Gets into the shower
I
with
also-
a Speedo
I also-
on.
and a plaid Speedo.
I did notice that was very unfair.
And I'm like, motherfuckers, fuck you.
Also
I at
just
least
jarring.
should see naked butt cheeks. Come on.
Yeah, it's
Straight women exist.
You want realism, man. Is he a never nude? What's going on
What's
here?
just going on here?
I mean, I didn't want to necessarily see him naked, but I just want parody.
No, exactly. Exactly. What's
Yeah.
wrong with that?
So speaking of paratitties, she had a pair of titties, and
So
they
there were
covered them
several.
up. They,
Yeah.
they gave her an outfit that was kind of like a late Marvel S&M.
Nice titties too.
They
Yeah,
were.
and-
Everybody was working with good stuff.
The look, she had like an H.R. Giger kind of vibe going, like the heels and the long fingernails, and she's,
Oh yeah, they were
she's
like
kinda
these
scary.
silver like cone
Yeah,
claws.
it's very like it's very traditional tied, like traditional dancing. You see
Yeah.
those nails a lot.
Yeah, but the way
They're like metal bugles.
they kind of passed that idea through like the Masters of the Universe costume design filter.
Yeah, like Evelyn.
Yeah, kind of like an Evil Lynn. It's very cool. Though I love visually this movie, like great aesthetic, great color palette, consistent throughout the whole movie too.
I was trying to just glance at the Wikipedia plot real quick because I was like, I couldn't remember, a couple of key points. This is how banana sauce this fucking movie is. He consumes the invulnerability potion and surmounts the defenses when he is attacked by the undead warrior. Eventually, the ashes manifest their own power, killing first the undead warrior and then the remaining black magicians. When Blue takes the ashes, spider stingers remove themselves from his eye. I mean, it's just insane.
There's a lot of movie in this
yeah,
movie.
it sounds like a recap of like a Dungeons and Dragons session.
Yes.
And this movie feels a lot like a Dungeons and Dragons game with the way it just teeters off wherever the writers wanted to go.
Wherever.
But they were prepared. It's not, they didn't teeter off into something where they weren't
Yeah.
prepared to tell that part of the story.
Yeah.
They moved from something you're like, whoa, this is just beautiful, to something that they're like, oh, now we're going to give you a minimalist set with just a fake moon in the sky on one side and then this kind of
I thought it was
sunrise
cool as shit,
motif on
though.
the other one.
Yeah.
Killer.
I love the lighting in this. All the
Yes.
Yeah.
primary colors: the blue, the red, the greens.
Yeah, it
This
looks
movie was
so
cuckoo
good.
in all the ways that I enjoy cuckoo.
I love any flying
Such as
heads.
gross.
Yeah,
That's always fun.
Yes.
I feel like that's a very Asian thing, isn't it?
Yeah, we've seen that in a
This-
few other movies
the movie-
over the years.
Where the spiders were drinking up poison with their little straws.
That was cute.
So much cuteness.
Yeah.
And then he had the spiders dangle down and on their own webs and go down and put their stingers in the eyeballs.
Yeah.
Is that what they did
Yeah.
to inject the poison?
It's cute until they stab someone in the
Yeah.
eyeball, and then they're not as cute.
There's a lot of eye trauma in this movie.
But
Yeah.
they were. I mean, for all the really good effects, the spiders. Sorry, they looked like made of felt,
Well,
and that's fine.
you know what though?
They added
did
to
that
the
with
charm.
The bats too.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Andy. Like,
Yes.
there's something about in this world, this
It works.
puppetry is kind of, these are magical bats. It's what magical bats look
Yeah,
like.
I know those bat puppets were supposed to be like menacing, but
Yeah.
they were so cute.
They were adorable.
Especially
Yes.
like
Well, you sacrifice that one.
the first monk, Chan's spiritual twin. He takes a little bat and stabs it,
He
stabs
sticks
it through the chest, and he's like stuck to the ground, and he's flapping his little wings.
Yeah, that was kind of sad.
Yeah, you're like, oh, stop bullying the
Just
little
kill
guy.
the fucking thing already.
Because all these like creatures have these glowing red eyes. They're very like Mothman,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
like Mothman is adorable.
We're
Yeah.
going to see Mothman this year. I'm going to Point Pleasant. God damn it!
Point Pleasant.
You heard me here first and last.
It's like make out point.
Yep. The Boxer's Omen. What a cuckoo! What a great pick, Nick.
Yeah, thanks
Great
for
picnic.
I would have never
Nick
probably
Beef.
found this on my own.
Yeah, Nick, it was a good pick.
Can we give our friend Nick, who gave us this movie that we enjoyed so much, the nickname Nick Beef?
Nick Beef.
You, sir, are now Nick
You've earned
Beef.
it. So
You've earned it.
we didn't talk about his return fight when he comes back.
Oh, well,
Because he had Nookie, he got pink eye real bad, and they couldn't fight anymore. And then
Somebody farted in his face.
yeah, and he had to go back, and he lied to Buddha.
that he didn't have sex. He's like, did you have sex? He's like,
Yeah.
I no.
Where'd you get that pink eye?
From okay.
So
Well, I understand his
Happy
reasoning.
ending.
He thought he was in the clear after defeating the first
He thought he had done it.
dude. And then it's like, I'm going to celebrate by fucking.
yeah, you better stick to the tenants. Is
So-
that right? Tenants.
So he
pillars.
So he has to be on guard all the time, just in case another
Yeah.
black magic dude comes and says, "What's up?"
This is life now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he'll just get sick. Like if he decides to live normal, it'll make him real sick, and he'll get pink eye again.
I feel
It
bad.
wasn't
'cause-
really big eye, was it? I mean, it was just something
no,
that
it's
made
where
his
he got
eyes.
his head beat in by
He got his.
No, it was.
Bolo.
It was during. It was that was the sorceress lady put a spell on him. That's kind of where
Yeah.
the pink eye came from.
But
During
wasn't he only vulnerable because he had sex? Wasn't that the point of like why he was so weak at the fight?
I don't know.
I don't
Because then he had to
remember.
go back. He had to go
Yeah.
back and re-up his credentials.
No, and that's
Yeah.
that's when they
Yeah.
asked him, like,
Yeah.
"Did you have sex?" And he was like,
But then he went to a whole nother temple. Remember?
Well, then he had to go to a second location because
Yeah.
he had to get the relic. Because
Yeah.
he's like, listen, you fucked up, but there still might be a chance. You need to go to get my relic. That's where all my power
Yeah, then it
truly
became
is.
like
and
a,
then you can have that, and you'll be all right.
There's a lot of movie. Yeah.
Then it
so
became
much.
like Indiana Jones or like Golden Child.
Yeah.
Yes, and it looked like some like light was flashing out of that statue's crotch.
Where they had covered him in little bits of gold foil. That was a really neat moment too, because you got to see that earlier in the film as it feels like almost like they're making him a saint or something. That level of like attention they're giving to him, and just the way the light played off of that, and all the lens flares, the purposeful lens flares. I love that
Cool
shit.
movie.
Fucking great.
Great locations too, and the sets.
Yeah.
It's like I wonder, did they actually film in actual Buddhist temples?
I feel like they had to some of those shots.
Like when they traveled into Nepal,
Yeah,
I feel like they did actually go to Nepal, right?
look like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like a globe-trotting movie.
I love that stuff because
Yeah.
it's exciting. It's like traveling from the comfort of your couch,
Yes.
plus watching guys eat things that other guys chewed up.
Ugh. I'll never get over it. Never once.
And
Anyway.
they weren't just chewing for like chew spit.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, they were.
They were
You thought we were done,
invest-
listener.
They were really investing in
Yeah.
this.
It's because we're children and we can't get over it.
They're making a meal of it.
It offended me so much I have to keep talking
But
about
then
it.
after Chan defeats the sorceress girl, then she births the 3 minions and they're wrapped in saran wrap.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, they did not try to hide that was just straight up saran
Yeah.
wrap. That seems dangerous too, doesn't it? Because
Yeah.
doesn't your skin
to
have
wrap
to
human
breathe?
beings up and yeah.
Yeah,
And they're wrapped in saran wrap and covered in goo.
yeah. That's like they're probably just trying to clip their dog's
Yeah.
nails.
The goo is peanut butter. Stupid.
They wrap their whole bodies inside of just their heads.
Yeah.
I mean, see how long Elsa's nails are right
Yeah.
now because she doesn't even fall for
That's
that
The
bullshit.
level of desperation. I'm
It's
at.
I would wrap my whole ass body if I had
I
to.
had to bring in professional help.
Seriously. Anyway, that's my secret shame.
Mm-hmm.
The Boxer's Omen.
Yeah.
Yeah, big recommend from me.
Fantastic. It's on YouTube. Looked great. You can put the subtitles on and have a great time. I insist.
And I feel, did he actually ever avenge his brother?
No.
He had because he
I mean,
because he got pink eye during the fight and couldn't
Right.
finish.
But what's the character's name again? Bobo.
in the subtitles it was Bubo.
Yeah.
Bubo.
B-U-B-O.
That he
But I don't
yeah,
know.
he never has any resolution with that guy,
Yeah.
then, right?
Not that I remember.
So they left that open for a sequel, then, huh?
Yeah. Boxer's Omen too.
Yeah.
Even grosser.
You thought we could chew up 5 things.
So,
Wait till you see
yeah,
part 2.
that was wonderful.
We
Thanks
chew
so
up
much for listening
7.
to our main attraction.
So that's AbraCadaver, guys.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
That's a wrap on that.
Is this your card?
So you want to pick what our next theme is going to be, and then we'll talk about In a Violent Nature briefly?
Yes, let's do it. We're so excited to pick. Andy, oh my gosh. Oh, you want me to pick?
Yeah, as per tradition.
As per tradition.
Our new tradition.
It's rare tradition. I am the youngest person in the room, so I guess that's the tradition. The youngest gets to do it.
Youngest.
That has opposable thumbs. Because otherwise the dog would get to go. Boarding school. Oh, Freddy, this is
I
from
love that
you.
sort of thing. Yeah, so films
That have something to do with a
set at
boarding,
school. Or relatively related to.
Features something about a boarding
Make sure
school.
they're not boring school.
Oh, I would rather not be boarding school.
Right.
All right, we'll work on a pun. Andy, you got any ideas so far? It's okay if you don't.
Let's talk In a Violent Nature.
All right.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Misunderstanding.
Did he just take minutes off your life, listener?
I was talking In a Violent Nature.
Andy, have you seen this yet?
I was going to see it in the theater, but then I was like, it's going to be... I don't think it necessarily requires a theater viewing. No. So I was like, I'm going to wait.
I appreciate what they did.
Yeah.
And the ingenuity.
The things I really liked about it was it did feel like a Friday the 13th movie told from the perspective of the killer.
Mm-hmm.
I love the little moments where he's in earshot of them and you're picking up the plot because it almost reminds me of playing Night Trap.
Oh, yeah.
The Nintendo game where it's live action and you're kind of focused. You get little parts of the house and you catch pieces
The
of
security
story.
camera. Yeah.
It felt like that. The voyeurism part of that was great, but there are these huge. It has a lot in common with the Wizard of Gore, in that like
repetitive.
It's a lot of people walking.
It's a lot of the killer walking and like.
Or this one chick running.
And I don't know why. I don't know why there's so much of it.
I get it.
Well, I guess it makes sense. I mean, a killer is always just walking.
Yeah,
I know, but
they're trying to be accurate, but at the same time, bros,
Yeah.
I'm watching a movie.
I mean,
Like,
most of these slashers involve just stalking.
The movie would have been a lot better, I think, had they tightened up the moments of him just moving from point A to point B. We get it.
They're just proving why the movie's made the other way because you need characters and somebody to like.
Were you hoping to see what he does in between the kills? Like, does he go and get something to eat?
No, he just
There are
walks.
some interesting
Does he go
things.
to like that? No, that's what I'm saying. That's what you want to see. You want to see
The
what
movie, I'm not
he does in
saying.
between.
I'd give this like a solid C+ because I like what they did, and I like how different it is.
Yeah.
But it's also an experiment I don't think ever needs to be recreated.
Well, how are the kills?
The
fucking
kills are really
great.
good.
Very inventive, very gory, very gnarly, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cutting of bits and bobs off, and you're like, whoa.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful too. Like
cinematography is great.
They did a great job shooting it and framing things is great. It's just the amount of footage.
The
It's too
tedium.
much footage.
How long was it? About
Hour and a half.
Maybe
Oh.
if it felt like
but it just
two.
felt longer.
Felt like 2
Yeah.
hours. And I think, like if they had just leaned into it being kind of fun a little and the less of
It took itself a little serious.
yeah, but when you got to the moments where you overheard the victim characters, it felt like a cheesy movie then.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, there's a cheesy movie happening just over the side of that bush. And it's familiar, and it's every slasher movie I've ever seen. It's happening right over there. But we're watching it from his perspective. It's like watching a movie from outside someone's house on their TV when you're out for a walk and you're like, oh,
It's not ideal.
Yeah. So, I mean, is there a plot? Or is it just literally
Very simple.
scenes of him just stalking and killing people?
Super, super stripped down, simple
Yeah.
plot. It's barely there.
cursed necklace, basically. It's his necklace. It's, in the beginning of it.
Is that a spoiler?
No, but it's even in, I think it was even written on every synopsis of this movie. Even I knew that, and I hadn't even really knew anything about it. But
Okay.
that's what triggers it is somebody takes the necklace.
You got to trigger the killer, right?
And it's not even important, really, like to the story
You
and
got
what it
to
is.
strike Jason with lightning. You got
Yeah.
to get this. You got to get the party started.
So does this killer have a signature weapon, or does he
Yes.
one of those people that just finds whatever?
Opportunity.
Well,
There's a couple of things that he'll use twice,
yeah.
but like
He's not like Machete.
they are trying
With
to kind of go
Jason.
the traditional slasher route. Like there is a mask involved and all that stuff. Like so, you know, and at this
These are
point,
people who know the
slightly
genre
spoilery, right?
super well.
Yeah,
Let's just say they know everything about the genre, and they did a really excellent job of putting
they hit all the beats.
of flipping it and watching it from a totally different perspective. It's just that you recognize that's why we never did it this way before.
Yeah, but it could have been
And
better.
I think
Could have
that's
worked,
my
but-
preference is always going to be I want to be with the characters, not the villains. I want to be with the people, not the bad guys. That's just always going to be my preference.
I wonder if they did a cut without all that walking between and it felt wrong. You know, they watched it and they're like, oh, he's staring at him here. Oh, he's hanging out there. It might have just felt, maybe it just doesn't work as a concept. That way.
I don't know.
It is interesting though.
Yeah.
Like, do you
I'm not sad I rented it.
do you like hear him breathing like
Not
stuff like
really.
that? Okay.
He's
can't
pretty
remember.
quiet.
He's a sneaky little bitch.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
he's quiet. There's no
I don't know
score.
about all that.
There's no score, but
That
there's,
bugged me too.
there's
I like movies with scores.
diegetic music within the scenes, and they use the moment. This is slightly spoilery, but I just wanted to. One thing I was impressed with was one of the characters who he kills had a tape Walkman, and as he's dragging the body away, he walked so long that the batteries start to die and the song gets real slow. That you hear that there's some effective uses of music in it.
Yeah.
And this guy who wrote and directed this, I've forgotten his name. But
Chris Nash.
Chris Nash, I think he's that's some real promising ideas
Yeah.
there, and almost just right.
So it takes place in the 80s.
No, he's
So-
just a hipster.
So this guy just happened to have a
I said
Walkman?
that. I didn't even realize what it was. And Freddie's like, no, yeah.
The friends were picking on him for having it.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I wasn't paying
I
attention.
mean,
to
I
that
would
part.
too, because there's no reason you should have a Walkman.
There's no goddamn
Just-
reason.
The only reason you have is like, look, I have a Walkman.
One of the
Look at me and
girls
my
was-
Walkman.
She was funny. She said to him, "Go back and flirt with those gas station girls. You can show them your Walkman. They'll think you're from the future." That was funny.
That's a good line.
She delivered it well. Well, excuse me.
You seen anything, Andy? You watching anything?
I did see Maxine finish
Oh.
the Pearl trilogy. I don't know what you call it, but she's
Sure.
Yeah.
A pearl necklace.
Yeah, it was good. I was kind of disappointed because my expectations were kind of high,
Yeah.
considering X and Pearl were so good.
Yeah,
Still have
I've
not
heard,
seen
I've heard
Pearl.
that from other people. Pearl is really good.
But I like it. Takes place in the 80s, so it has that look and style down great. And I like the location. It's a sleazy, gross 80s LA. It's not like cleaned up or anything. I like sleazy.
I do too.
And Mia Goth is always great, but I don't know. I felt like this was unfocused because I think the story is that they were working on Pearl, and then they just made and they were like, "Hey, do you want to make another movie?" And they kind of
Oh, so it wasn't planned.
I don't know if it was planned.
Mhm.
I think that's the way the story goes. Like somebody correct me on that or give me the real lowdown.
That
but
was just kind of like we could make another movie.
Yeah,
it
I
wasn't
think-
like necessary to tell the
I
story.
think it's because they like the characters so much in Pearl and X, and they just wanted to see what they could do with it.
So is Maxine?
She is
How is she related to? She is Pearl?
okay. It goes Pearl and Maxine are in the first one, and then Pearl is the prequel to X. You like see how this person became a killer.
So it goes.
and
Does
then-
it go? If you watch them in order, you'd be watching Pearl,
Yeah,
then Maxine.
yeah. No. X then Pearl then X. Pearl X Maxine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought X took place in modern times.
It was like
No.
it took place in the 70s.
Yeah, 70s.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize
Yeah.
that.
But like and Pearl takes place in like 30s or 40s.
Right. Okay. Now,
But they're all connected, but it just shows you the different perspectives of the characters.
Sorry to spend so much time on that.
Yeah, it was good. Not great. It just doesn't live up to the previous two movies.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
I still need to go. I still want to see Pearl. I'll see Pearl.
You should.
I will. One of these days.
I mean, I do like
Pretty
the
good.
fact that there's a new like movie icon that's been introduced because I think Pearl is really taken off as a character.
I mean, normies are talking about it. Like, oh, have you seen this movie? I'm going to see this movie. And I'm like, how do you know about this?
Well, now when you
trilogy.
go back and you look at Mia Goth's career, she's
Yeah.
been involved in a lot of strange little movies like Cure for Wellness. You know, that movie where nobody really liked it, but nobody really hated it either. Where you're like, man, this could have been really good.
Yeah, I feel like just because of, and she was in Suspiria too.
Yeah,
So you
same deal. We're like,
think
that
just
could have been really
Just
good.
because of her look, she's very typecast into certain roles. She's not going to be,
Spooky.
she's not going to be the leader in a rom com.
gal. Oh.
I mean, like,
If people had imagination.
it'd be interesting to
don't.
see her tackle that role, but she has just says,
Ooh, a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Could you
Ah.
imagine? She's back at her hometown.
I don't know if she doesn't have eyebrows or
Single.
she's like willingly takes them off.
I don't
but
know.
It's a very specific look.
It's a
she,
look.
She pulls it off, but you're also limiting yourself to certain things.
Yeah, and it makes other people think maybe I could do that.
She could never play Millhouse. They made a live action Simpsons movie.
Yeah, that's the only reason that she can't play it because no eyebrows.
She could never
Wow.
play
She could never play Eugene Levy's
Eugene Levy, you know.
daughter.
Is this for me to read?
That's for you to read.
We're going to thank the Beelzebubs.
Patreon.com/NOTLP if you want to be a part of that magic.
Matt, down in Florida, Matt sent us a picture of him with his dad, who I haven't seen in a long time.
That was a very cute picture.
real sweet. Branan and Emily, love you guys. Jeff L.
Jeffel.
Jeffel.
I have to give everybody a nickname. It's
Jerfel.
my thing.
Iona Goodwin.
Not a great one.
Dr. Brian. Old Dirty Bill Stirred. Bill Fahrner. Blayne Yogurt. I like to act like this is kind of, I'm thinking
It's a
of
grocery
pomp and
list?
circumstance
Oh.
play in my mind. Jordache Jeans. The tightest jeans. Monica. Jeremy, Cassie, and Gamora. Ernest and Dave. Thank you guys so very, very much.
So very,
thank
very, very much.
And thanks again, Nick, for your pick.
Yeah, it was a good pick.
Nick Beef.
That is a great picnic, Beef. And thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.